You have to cross the threshold. You have to cross that bridge where you get out of your head.
Yeah.
You get out of what you think, and then just start looking at it from an outside perspective. Because
That's hard for people, though.
It is, because even just when starting the church, everybody's excited about starting the church, and I'm having anxiety attacks. I'm like, what are we doing? We didn't have anything. We didn't have nothing. I had a dream, and 20 crazy people that were following me.
Coming to you from 125 Carver in Waco, Texas, it's the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions are fun, real, and at times very uncomfortable. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to like and subscribe, and please ring the bell. Now, here are your hosts, Pastor Cello and Pastor Mia.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's Wednesday.
Good morning. We don't have a horn for that?
Oh, yeah, we do. Let me see.
Where's our horn?
I don't even know. Oh,
no,
sorry, not that
not
one.
A horn.
No, sorry, not that one.
That's not a horn either.
No. That one?
No.
Okay, then no.
Okay. Man, I appreciate
we need
you
a
guys.
new one.
Right.
We need one with the horn.
A current date.
No, this is a good one, but we need one with the on it, so I don't have to do it anymore.
Man, I appreciate you guys joining us. Man, thanks to all of our...
That one?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks to all of our supporters, man. You guys following, liking, subscribing, man. Appreciate you guys listening to iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, man. Subscribing, liking our YouTube channel, liking us and following us on our app, man. Thank you guys so much. Patreon supporters, man. Appreciate y'all.
I didn't realize actually how many people actually listen to us that do not tell us
I know,
that they're listening to us. I know. I was telling somebody something, and they said, well, then we should put the Riverside Weekly logo on it. And I'm like, you listen to the podcast? Whoa, shout out to you.
Yeah.
So
we have been, man, all over the place, man. Podcast has been going good, man. I'm excited. I'm going to share this.
Share.
We just hit over 600 subscribers to our app. Man, so appreciate you guys liking and sharing our app. Subscribe. Yeah, so.
And that's not the Riverside Weekly alone.
Right.
That's the Riverside Waco
app. That's the Riverside Waco app.
Which we are as a platform for the Riverside Weekly.
The app is a platform for our podcast. So anyway, man, just excited about that. Excited about, if you haven't listened to it, we have a new radio show podcast called The Treasury.
It's music and talking. Instead of just us having conversations.
But it's not
even us.
It's not us.
High five to us.
So, got a group of guys on there, man. Want to shout out to Nate, Trey, and Jacob, man, for holding it down, man. It's been real good. You can catch that exclusively on our app. And so, man, appreciate you guys for watching and listening to them guys.
And how could one find this app?
Go to your app store, man. We're on Google.
And you're going to look up what?
The Riverside Waco app.
The Riverside Waco app is what it's called?
Yes, in your app store. So wherever you get your apps, it'll be there. If it's Amazon, Google Play, Apple Store. I'm not sure what the other ones are, but
I didn't even know there was an Amazon.
Wherever you get your apps, man. Appreciate you guys getting that. We are on Roku.
Yep.
And we are on Apple TV. So you can catch us on your Apple TV and your Roku as well as on your television. So, man, pretty cool.
Do we even do listen anymore? We don't do the audio now.
Yeah, audio's still on there. No, audio is still on there, so you can listen or watch.
Because some people can't watch. They can listen to us, but they're busy doing stuff.
Yeah, so you can listen or watch.
Like stuffing breast pumps in boxes and stuff. So, just saying.
So, yeah, breast pumps in boxes. That's going to mean that's
breast pump in boxes. Let's do that. Yeah.
So, man, I wanted to kind of give you guys an update. I appreciate you guys, man. Our app, our church app, the podcast, everything that we do is it's giver supported, so it's listener supported. So the people that give offerings, tithes and offerings, gifts, man, they help make everything that we do possible. And so, man, for you guys to be able to tap into and enjoy.
Yes.
So
say cheese.
Cheese. But what I wanted to talk about real quick is she don't know I was going to do this because I just thought about this 30 seconds ago. So a lot of times when you see churches do things, they'll have they might have a financial backer, a ministry supporting them, doing different things like that. And then you have other churches who the pastor or the senior pastor or the couple may have a job, so they might be bivocational. So they'll have jobs that
which
they'll
I just learned about, by the way.
So a bivocational means that they don't just do ministry, so they have a full-time job or a part-time job, and then they do ministry part-time. Or I say part-time, they do ministry as well as go to work, have a 35, 40-hour week, 25-hour work week, like everybody else. And then you have other pastors and ministers that are full-time, so that's what they do full-time. That's how...
Do you count that as a job?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Absolutely.
I'm just asking.
So,
because I didn't know what you were going. Where you going?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, just wanted to share that sometimes there are opportunities that pastors come across that make themselves available, or God may set them up in a situation for them to have income. Because you can't, I mean, as much as we would like to say that just you can do ministry and ministry it's free and you don't have to worry about living, we still pay our bills. We still have to pay our electric, water, gas, insurance. Like we have the same bills, the same money situations that come up as everybody else. So in that process, it's been about 2.5, 3 years, maybe I don't know. You'll correct me. So a couple of years ago, several years back, she started making hot sauce, and so most of you guys know that she makes hot sauce and has her green sauce. So she was awarded some money from her previous employer in a giveaway that they had, and then put that money towards getting a trailer started and trying to get her hot sauce thing off the ground and all this stuff. So we are now at the brink, at the forefront, at the launching part of a food truck. So her and my son-in-law got together, teamed up to do this food truck. And so just so you guys know, like this, the church is not directly involved or any of the money or anything that goes to that food truck. So that's just her, God providing. If you've been in our services and you kind of know what's going on, if you're connected, you understand that
and you'll understand that this is my reaping season.
This is separate from what we're doing in ministry, but at the same time, because she's in ministry, it's helped supporting us. Mm-hmm. So saying all that to say, catch us up to where we're at now with your food truck, what that looks like, how you got to where you're at. Give me 2 years and 2 minutes.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. 2 years and 2 minutes. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. I will say that it has been a long time coming. I've been making salsa for 25 years, and maybe I should just give y'all my spiel. You want me to do my spiel here?
You got 2 minutes.
All right. So, hi, my name is Mia Lozano, and I am the owner of Part-Time Chef, Food Truck, and the longtime owner of Mia's Heavenly Hot Sauce. And out of a need for finances when we first began our ministry, that God just placed this in my lap and in my life, co-sponsored by my mother-in-law, who still does not take credit, even though she did give me this recipe for the salsa. And as it became a need, it also became a dream. And at that time, I was making little to no money, and you weren't either. And then all of a sudden, these just started to make an income for us, about $350 a week, as if I had a job, even though I was a stay-at-home mom with the baby. And after that, seeing the benefits of that, not only financial, but seeing it as a vision and a dream to be able to be on the shelves of our local grocery store, and wanting to get my name out there as well as provide for us so that we could do full-time ministry. That became my vision. And even though my vision got put on hold for a while, God never let me go in that time. And so he just kept that at the forefront of me and still allowed that to bring in finances for us to be able to have extra finances to income for us to supplement while we were doing ministry. And when we launched our church, it just seemed the vision just began to grow and become more. And as it became my reaping season, I think that's all I can say, is that God just began to bring in these people and these things, and everything just started falling into place as a foundation for the dream. And as the dream began, way back 25 years ago, then it kept layering and layering and layering into where we are today, which was we did get a truck, me and my son-in-law, so we collabed together to make the vision move forward. And so we just pre-launched our food truck. We're finally done after 2.5 years, and thankful to all the supporters and all of the investors and elbow greasers and utility workers and who's that did with the hammer and still fought the war over here? Come on, he was at the wall. Everyone out there knows who I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm drawing a blank because he's listening to me and he was too. But anyway, so God has just really built this from that once upon of a need to a dream to a vision. And now we have a food truck and are still looking at getting the product into HEB, which I've had my first interview, which is so cool. And I will be presenting everything that I just presented to you at this moment to them tomorrow. So that's us. Is that 2 minutes?
A little bit over, but we're not being judgmental here.
I'm gonna have to clip some of that out. But saying all that, just to say, now that I gave you all that in 2 minutes, that this is a new adventure for us, and we're pretty excited. It is an actual supplemental income for you and I as well. We are in full-time ministry. However, a lot of people out there think that the church is, financially, what do they call it? Like Joel Osteen and all of that. We're not a mega $1 million church. We do provide for the necessities of the church, but we don't want to be a burden to the church.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, we've looked for other incomes and other avenues, as my pastor would say, other streams of income to provide for us. And there's no reason for me to squander a talent that God has given me. And again, like I said, I had a dream that one day we would all be equal.
The multitudes would be fed.
Yeah, would
green
be fed.
and red sauce.
Green and red sauce, I love it. And that it would be a vision of mine to get it on the shelves where it could cause a residual income to bring in extra income so that we're not dependent on the church.
Yeah. So, question. What was the biggest challenge of, in the last 2 years, what was the biggest challenge of trying to
You could go see episode 12 you can go listen to the podcast episode 12 on faith and obedience, because I thought that was a challenge.
Episode 12?
Episode 12. I can guarantee that's what it is because I just sent it to someone yesterday.
Okay.
Because
That's an audio. That's an audio.
It is an audio. It is not a video. When we first started out.
So you're not going to find it on YouTube.
No, you're only going to find it on our app.
On the audio platforms.
Yeah. And it's so funny because as I sent this to someone, they are in the process of having to not wait on God, but wait this thing out.
Sometimes you have to wait on God.
Yes,
but it feels like you're waiting on God.
Yes, but here's the thing. Everything should be in God's timing. Most of the time we try to force it and we try to happen. And most of you don't know, but this salsa recipe was given to me when 26 years ago now, 27, almost 27. And it actually was to supplement an income while I was at home with my young son and trying to raise him. He had only just been, 2 years old or a year old. And I remember trying to bring it out and trying to figure out, where do I go with this? And I remember going to church and someone praying over me and saying, this is going to be a multi-million-dollar business. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And I will tell y'all what I did. And please forgive me right now, because this is what I did. I went to God and I told him, I'm not ready. I don't want it. I don't want that kind of fame. I'm a backdoor person. I'm a background person. That's too much attention on me. I have 4 kids. I have a ministry. I don't want that, Lord. I don't want that. I don't want that. I know, and everybody's going, plot twist. I did that to myself. And it wasn't until...
And to me.
Yeah. But it wasn't, and you can't, I can't go back and change things. But and I've said this before, I didn't love myself then enough to be able to love what God was trying to give me or accept his love for me. I've said that multiple times. And so now that I'm able to get through that and, accept his love and give it out as well, I'm looking at that going, this is something that I said to my friend when I sent it to her. I said, you know what? It's never too late to start anything. Never. I'm going to be 50 this year, and I'm launching a food truck. And if I get into when I get into HEB, that will be amazing. And the Colonel, KFC, he didn't even start KFC until he was 65. He didn't become Colonel until he was 65.
You got 15-year head start.
That's what I'm saying. So,
what was your biggest challenge?
Faith and obedience. Faith and obedience. Man, let me tell you, because I wanted to give up right before the truck was done. Remember that? Before that investor came in, I was like, I'm done. Flipping over tables, because I'm just like, it seemed like it was going to take forever, even though it had already taken, even though I had set it back 25 years. Now I'm over here crying about 2 years. Like the people in the desert.
Interesting concept.
Right?
Interesting perspective.
I know, but I'm having to look at this, and I'm so thankful for Mondays, because Mondays gives me time to not do anything and just be quiet, and it's my day off. And I tell you what, if you'll be quiet, God will talk to you. And let me tell you, he may not smack you, but he be smacking me. What's the smack sound over here? Is there a smack sound?
I don't think there's a smack sound. I think you just did it.
But I'm just like, why didn't you get it, Mia? Why didn't I get it then? So that was my biggest challenge, is having the faith to carry out what he gave to me. And knowing that I was squandering this gift that he gave me was worse. It was digging into me, just going, he wasn't doing that. I was doing it to myself. We're usually our hardest critics.
Okay, so in these last few months, so last 2 years, you said it was faith and obedience. That was the biggest challenge. Mm-hmm. So in these last few months,
seeing the finish line.
Yeah, what has that done for you as far as and I'm just going to be real. Like,
okay,
what has that done for you as far as intimidation, as far as fear?
Okay.
As far as seeing it like it's there, right? It's almost I liken it to almost like giving birth, right? Like you're all excited about birth until you get rolled until you get rolled in behind the curtains.
What's happening back here? Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, give me some drugs.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that look like now that you're literally, and I say this a lot of times when I work with businesses and coach individuals, like you worked all the time to get to here, mm-hmm. but now the work starts. Mm-hmm. So what is it now? Like, what does that look like for you? It's like, okay, now we're getting ready to launch officially, mm-hmm. grand opening. Now what?
Okay, so now this is really funny. I have a great story for this, and I know I'm a storyteller, so you just have to deal with me. I know, right? So basically, even though the truck was getting done, I still was kind of dragging my feet, knowing the fear was trying to grip a hold of me and going, holy cow, this is real, and it's the same as when you give birth. Holy cow, you're fixing to take a baby home, and you don't get a manual to that, You don't get a manual for food trucks. You don't get a manual for business. Yes, there's, what do they call them? Business plans, business modules, business this, business that. First of all, let me just be frank with y'all. I don't like business. Business people are mean, and they're nasty, and they're cutthroat, and that's not me, and that's not my heart. So will I be a different business owner? Probably. But I had to have a partner who could come in and say, no, you're gonna say, because I'm one who will say yes to pretty much anything. So I had to have that side of me to say, no, we're not going to do that, Mia. And I believe there are some times where I will override, kind of like you are with the church. You don't make all the decisions. The team does. But there is a final say-so with you.
I got to hold my pastor card.
Yes, you do sometimes. I get to hold my business owner card, type thing. But that's not always necessary. Sometimes, and it's what we said about God. God has great for us. What he has is greater for us. My son said that in his song, But the problem is that we always get behind it and we're just like, no, never mind, I don't want it, type thing. Or we get big-headed and we're like, So I will say this, I was intimidated until I went to a soccer game on Saturday, and there was a food truck there, and the owner was there. He just happened to be the owner, and I just said, hey, I just got my truck inspected. I got the commissary inspected. The truck will be inspected in 3 days. Because this was a Saturday and it was going to get inspected on Monday. Not that I knew that. I was just believing God for that, okay? Which it happened. And so I asked him, I said, hey, we're getting ready to launch our food truck. He was like, hey, congrats, welcome to the food truck world. And I was like, and then I said, I'm just asking because I would like to see inside your food truck and see if what we're planning for is a good system for us. And he was like, sure, come on in. I was so intimidated. This guy just had 4 freezers and 1 little rack on the wall. And you know what the rack was? Cups to dispense his ice cream. And that was it. I was like, mind blown. And this guy, he took 10 people in line out in 5 minutes or less. I was like, what is this? Can we do this? And immediately, guys, a light bulb went off because you can ask him. He was like, Mia, I think you can do chips and salsa by yourself. No. Nobody would ever buy chips and salsa by themselves. We got to have something on there. Nobody's going to come to a truck like that, even though we have a lemonade solely owned truck, a tea only truck, a cupcake only truck. I just didn't have confidence in myself to do a chips and salsa only truck. But then I talked to the Jelly guy, saw his setup, saw how easy it was. All that happened was like, let's go. That's really what happened. Because after that, I was like, we got this. Let's go. What are we going to do? And now I'm just like, sandwiches. When's the real fun going to happen? But I'm not a chef. I'm not a cook. So do I know that it's gonna make it? Yeah. Because it's a multi-million-dollar business. It was then when nobody had salsas out there. It may not be now, but it's still a residual income that God had provided for us that I squandered for 25 years. Now we're here.
Squandered.
Okay, I suppressed it.
That's a better word. That's a better word. Suppressed.
It was in the can and it was trying to come out, and finally I just went bling, bling, bling,
I think that's true with most people. You have to cross this. You have to cross the threshold. You have to cross that bridge where you get out of your head.
Yeah.
You get out of what you think, and then just start looking at it from an outside perspective. Because
that's hard for people, though.
It is, because even just when starting the church, everybody's excited about starting the church, and I'm having anxiety attacks. I'm like, what are we doing? We didn't have anything. We didn't have nothing. I had a dream, and 20 crazy people that were following me, right? And
Same.
But I think the hardest thing for us as individuals, when God gives us a dream, right? Like, we love to tell the story about Joseph. Man, believers, Christians, man, they love to tell that story about Joseph. But what they don't like to look at is that when God gives them a dream, are they willing to go through the same thing that Joseph went through?
But they're not.
And we're not. We're not. We don't want to go through that. We don't want to deal with that. And so we just take those dreams and we suppress them because we don't want to have to go through the hardships. We don't want to have to go through the challenges. We don't want to have to go through the mocking. We don't have to want to go through being made fun of and the failures and the weakness. Like, we don't have to deal with any of that. We just want the dream. And then we want it just to come to fruition. We wake up in the morning and it's done. Yeah. And I always say this, and I say this to a lot of
pop-up book.
I say this to people that I coach and when I work with folks, is like, sometimes we have to get more comfortable with going after what God's put on the inside of us or what we have desire for than the concept of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're comfortable with the concept, like, oh man, owning our own business would be great. Mm-hmm. Having my own this would be great. Doing this would be great. but that's a concept. When you're actually doing it, you have to actually get comfortable with being uncomfortable to the point where you're, okay, I don't like this, I don't know what I'm doing, and you start moving forward with it. And I love your analogy, as far as having a baby and then going home, getting sent home with no pamphlet.
Yeah, no instructions.
All you have is 35 people telling you how to parent this 6-month-old, 1-month-old baby, this teenager, right? Everybody's got their input, but it's your baby.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think a lot of times that's where we get stifled and we get stumped and we suppress, is because when we really think about what it means to have our dream, like we love saying, I'm living the best life, but you're not really living your best life.
You're living a comfortable life in your poopy diaper, just sitting there. And
Yes, we're living the concept of our best life.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times that we suppress those dreams and goals and things that God's put on the inside of us. We don't want to accomplish them because it's going to cost
scary.
us. It's scary. There's fear. There's anxiety. There's anticipation. You've got all these things going that are basically bombarding you.
And it's going to cost us.
And it keeps you unwilling to pay the cost or go through the pain to actually accomplish it. And I always say this, I remember when G had when he did his first album, I remember a guy told me, he said, I think he told him, we were talking, and he goes, the work wasn't getting the album done. The work is making sure that the album lives, making sure that the album gets out there, that people listen to it. And so to me, starting the church wasn't the issue. Starting the churching was the big thing. Starting the church was the easy part. Making a healthy church, having a church that's giving life, that's the challenge. That's the work. Starting the food truck, getting your food truck going, you guys getting your food truck going.
That's the easy part.
That was it would seem like work, but that's really a challenge. So now it's keeping it alive, making sure that it doesn't die, making sure that it continues to grow. That's the challenge. And I think that's the part that people don't look at, that they overlook, and they don't account for. Right? They love the idea about being a business owner or taking a trip or having a family or being a leader or having this job or getting this promotion, but they don't really think about everything that goes into it. So they get excited about it, but when they start seeing everything that goes into it, they're like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. You told me the other day, you're the one that wanted to start the church. I'm like, time out.
Wait a minute.
I did not want to start this church, but I knew that I was supposed to. And a lot of times what we do is we take the things that we're supposed to do and we put them on the back because that's not what we want to do.
Oh,
And
me.
me. And we literally do what we want and not what we're supposed to do.
Me. Same thing. Same thing.
Saying all that to say, so what's next?
So like I said, I just gave y'all my spiel, and now I get to try for the quest for the best, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try, and what happens, happens, and what can they tell me but no? And they could tell me yes. So, and I'm not shelf ready, but if I don't start somewhere, I'll never start.
There's a lesson behind that.
I mean, that's all I can say, because now I have a different confidence than I had before. I was not confident in myself and, in my ability of business management, of believing in myself and my product, even though people love my product and they tell me about my salsa and they want me to ship it and want me to package it and all that. That's all great. That's all great and dandy, but all that takes money and time. And it's the same with a baby. A baby doesn't grow up overnight. Has to be babied, has to be nurtured, has to be type thing.
Yep.
So
things that grow fast are dangerous. Weeds.
Those grow very fast. They grow overnight after you pull them.
Ingrown toenails.
Those two. So I will say this: I'm super excited for this next steps, and it's just I'm thankful that I finally let go and let God. Isn't that what everybody always says? Let go and let God. That's funny. I'm sorry, I'm not about cliches at all, but that was, I'll be here all week. Actually, I won't, because I'll be on the truck.
Cool.
Anyway, thanks for asking. I appreciate that. So you can go follow us at Part-Time Chef to follow the series of things that we're going to be doing. That is on our Instagram. I am still Mia's Heavenly Hot Sauce, even though last night I had a nightmare that we changed the name. So we'll just see what happens. Maybe it doesn't say what it is. Who knows? So I'm ready. Change is not bad. The crudes.
I appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Thank y'all so much. Check out the Part-Time Chef food truck on your social media.
All right. Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineer provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.